Where are you from?
I hitchhiked from Memphis, sir.
Huh?
See, I plumb out my thumb.
You did, eh? What's your name?
Opal Pearl Washington. And I'm one of twins.
Oh.
Yeah, Emerald Ruby passed on, but my mammy didn't mind so much because we got 12 brothers. All twins.
Is that so?
My mammy's from Alabama and my pappy's from Louisiana.
They are they? Well, miss, you're going back to your mammy and your pappy and the 12 twins. Rico, what are you doing? Can't you see it's Judy?
No.
Mr. Judy.
So Jessica Krug basically took the Rachel Dolezal route. She basically identified as black.
This is kind of unreal. A college professor in D.C. has revealed she's been pretending to be black her entire career. Jessica Krug, she's an associate professor at George Washington University and has written extensively about Africa and Latin America, all while claiming her own black and Latina heritage. But in an article published on Medium.com yesterday, she apologized. She revealed she's white and Jewish. She grew up in a Kansas City suburb. Her story is not unlike Rachel Dolezal. Remember her? She's another white woman who claimed that she was black while teaching studies, Africana studies at Eastern Washington University. She even was the head of her local NAACP chapter. One of Jessica Krug's students said that she used a lot of Spanish in her speech, always changed the exact place she said she was from, even said the N-word when it was in texts that the class was reading. A spokesperson for George Washington University said the university is aware of her article and is looking into this situation.
Now, as I've said about Rachel Dolezal before, I said that Rachel Dolezal actually respected and admired black people so much that she wanted to actually be black. And then when it came out that Rachel Dolezal was not actually black, that she was actually a white woman simply identifying as black, she lost everything, including her edges. But I just find it interesting that oftentimes black people are enamored by people that are not black, that are infatuated with what you would call black culture. But in Rachel Dolezal's case, they did not like it. Because I guess most black people felt that Rachel Dolezal got a benefit from being black.
But even now, sitting here asking you, we're saying, why not say you're white, but you identify as being black, and you don't seem to answer the question straight on.
My question to you, why not identify how you identify? Like, why not give me the right to identify how I identify? I give everybody else the same, you know. I think we are all entitled to be
correct
exactly who we are and to identify as such.
Rachel, I think it's kind of hard because you're not black. So when you identify with it, there's a disconnect. You know what I mean? Like, you weren't born black. So when you say you are black, it makes it hard for people to understand where you're coming from.
Right, and that's why I said I acknowledge I was biologically born white to white parents. And I identify, you know, but I identify as black, you know.
You angry with the white woman playing black. Oh, it's terrible what she did. She lied to us. She was a white woman all the time. And you in the beauty shop blonde. Your hair red. You buying blue glasses for your eye, green. You throwing away your blackness in the alley. That white woman found it.
But if being black is as lit as you all say, then why wouldn't somebody choose, if they had the choice, to be black? If someone had the option to be another race or be black, why wouldn't they want to be black if black is so awesome and wonderful? I don't necessarily fault someone for exercising a choice, just like I wouldn't fault any of you all who would choose not to be black if you had a choice. And we know a lot of you would. Jessica Krug, like Rachel Dolezal, basically built a career around her blackness. Now, Jessica Krug is a Jewish woman, so I'm going to assume that she didn't need to be black to have a successful career in academia. But maybe she chose to be black because she thought it would be easier, or she exercised her choice and decided to be black. But I still want you all to keep in mind that we are enamored with people who are in love with our blackness. We want to invite everybody to the cookout.
Jessica Krug is an associate professor of African history at the George Washington University in Washington, D.C., and she outed herself in a Medium blog post on Thursday, writing that every move she's made in her adult life has been, quote, rooted in the napalm toxic soil of lies. She adds that she should absolutely be canceled and that she's not a culture vulture, she's a culture leech. In the blog post, she explains how during her adult life, she took on multiple assumed identities. First, North African blackness, then U.S.-rooted blackness, then Caribbean-rooted Bronx blackness. In the post, she writes, quote, I have not only claimed these identities as my own when I had absolutely no right to do so, but I have formed intimate relationships with loving, compassionate people who have trusted and cared for me when I have deserved neither trust nor caring. A George Washington University spokesperson tells people in a statement that they are looking into the situation but cannot comment further on personnel matters. In her Medium post, Krug calls her actions the very epitome of violence, thievery, and appropriation. She adds that she has been battling some unaddressed mental health demons for her entire life, but says that does not justify what she did.
One of my friends, she got mad at me. Oh my God, Tiffany, how can you do this? Run around here telling people you a white woman. You turning your back on our people. I said, honey, I am not turning my back on anybody. If anything, I figured out the key to the matrix, bitch. Check a different box.
But I also want to remind you all, and don't get me wrong, I see both sides of the argument. But I'd also like to state that there are many women who are not black, but try to take on characteristics of what they believe being a black woman is. And many of you all support and love them for it.
Compare your journey to Caitlyn Jenner's journey. So, you know, you said there's similarities and there are differences, and you said that you felt like people treat Caitlyn, you know, they're accepting to her, but they're not accepting to you. Why do you think that?
Well, I certainly applaud Caitlyn for discovering herself. And I think, you know, again, you know, what does it mean to be a little different from your spouse or your children and yet no less than 100% mother, 100% wife? You know, are we all entitled to be exactly who we are?
My question to you would be, what made you not say
your biological birth,
race?
Yes.
What made you not say that?
I thought that everybody was being very hypocritical, and I thought that people were contradicting themselves because just 2 weeks prior, we were celebrating Caitlyn and, you know, saying that, accepting the fact that she can identify with whatever she wants to identify as. And we were saying things like, be who you are free to be. But then here comes old Rachel, old white woman wanting to be black, and it's World War III.
But I think the real problem for us is not actually knowing what black is. If I ask 10 different people what black is, I will get 10 different answers. So clearly, black people do not know what black is, but I will tell you what black is. They called the people that were descendants of slaves in America black. Black people are the African Americans or the Negroes.
Coming to you today to tell you ADOS, American DOS, was created to create a boundary so that our group can define itself and then make demands of what it needs, not only to survive, but also to gain the position it always was due in this country. Our bodies built this country before you even get to our labor. The bodies of American DOS was worth more than all of everything America had combined. All of the railroads, all of the land, all of the everything, the tools, everything combined. Just the bodies. A single slave with 3 years of field training was worth more than a house. This institution is what made America. So every American DOS should have a unique and privileged position where they don't pay for schools, where they get access to elite level homeownership, where their children go to elite schools. Every American DOS should be the elite version of America.
Black is a person that wasn't intended to have any rights. Black is a person that is identified, defined, and described as a color. Black is the person that will qualify for reparations.
Do you have a single ancestor that descended from American slavery? And number two, in the last 10 years, have you marked black on the census or a major national application of some sort? And I think what we have right now is a lack of understanding of what that means. It means that right now, if we did not institute ADOS, American DOS, as a delineation, you could have Nigerians receiving reparations when they have no damage from America. You could have Caribbeans from Haiti and Jamaica receiving reparations and they literally have no damage from America as a result of what reparations is repairing, which is slavery and peonage and Jim Crow period after.
So that means if your mother is a descendant of a slave, you qualify for reparations. That means you are a descendant of chattel slavery in America. I'm going to say this again. You are a descendant of chattel slavery in America. That to the term black was given to.
Is included when you do reparations. That is the people who bear the cost. Those are descendants of American chattel slaves. Because it's not just about like experiencing racism. It's about who built the country and who has been kind of bottom casted. So there has to be some economic redistribution to American descendants of slavery.
Now you all have created all kind of definitions and standards and rules, and this is the reason our culture can easily be appropriated. It's not difficult for someone to be black in our eyes. All they have to do is somewhat look black, not even fully black, if that's even a thing. They can look black and mix with something, and then also identify with the struggle, and we will consider them black. It's an easy formula to duplicate because we have even watered down what black is. So if they can talk the talk and walk the walk and halfway look the part, we will assume they are black.
On the application, there were no boxes.
If there were a box. If it said white, Hispanic, black, Asian, or other, what would you have picked?
I think when it comes to filling out forms, right, the form in particular usually defines things. So, for example, on one of the forms that I filled out, which was called into question this summer, it said white in parentheses, having European ancestry, black in parentheses, human populations originating in the continent of Africa, and Native American, it defined that. And it's like, okay, I've been a professor of African history, Black studies.
Yeah, but which one you checked though?
So it's like, when it came, I checked white and black because we all have human origins in the continent of Africa. I mean, that's true, right? The human populations originating in Africa is everybody.
You angry with her because she picked up what you trying to throw away. You buying bleaching cream. What the hell is wrong with your color? In Africa, bleaching cream is the #1 thing to buy. So you mad with her because she got a tan from a tanning machine? Made her hair look, Then she fix it up. You mad with her. And you happy with Caitlyn.
And the appearance of being black is even a multiple faceted thing. There is no uniform look for black. And this is why I keep saying that being black is not based on appearance.
I don't believe you people.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Huh?